Yo, 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 what's going on, guys? It's Buns, and welcome back to the Road to Gladiator. Tonight, let's talk WoW PvP. Specifically, we're going to talk about the Artifact Knowledge Catch-up system coming with the next patch, 7.1.5. Now, this is something that has been sorely needed in every single area of World of Warcraft. Going into Legion, for those of you guys that have been playing, basically, the artifact power system has been a currency that you use, artifact power, which you collect around the world, to spend on traits that are in your specific class's artifact weapon, which enhances your spells and damage and abilities. Now, with someone with a fully charged weapon, they are at a massive advantage compared to the player that has a fresh weapon at 110. And this has restricted and refrained players from trying out and playing multiple specs and classes, as they are at a severe disadvantage to someone that has all of the traits. This has played a massive impact for those of us in PvP as well too, because of how frequently and how often World of Warcraft has been making changes and adjustments to the PvP spells and templates and classes, doing tons of reworks and changes. It has made players feel like they're anchored down and weighed down to their specific class spec, and if it becomes a spec that's not enjoyable for them anymore, if it sees a huge tank and not seeing any changes from Blizzard's end, it feels like players have nowhere to go and that they can't make a new tune and be up to speed with everyone else. So Blizzard addressed this. They realized they needed to do something to change this for every single aspect of the game, and this is what they are planning on doing. Going into the patch in 7.15, there's going to be a quest called Knowledge is Power. This quest is going to allow you to take 500 order resources to spend on it, which will give you an Artifact Synapsis research token back. Now, this will allow you to take a research token, which normally takes 5 days for you to do during your garrison and let that time run out, and then you can use it, and it gives you an artifact knowledge power, which increases the rate and percentage at which you get artifact power. So what this is going to do when the patch hits is the first day of the expansion, you are going to be able to get to level 15 artifact knowledge. This is going to take 7,500 order resources, and you will be able to go in and cash them in to the vendor and make these trades right off the bat. You don't have to wait for the 5 days. You do not have to wait whatsoever. Instantaneously get them and automatically get to level 15 in your artifact knowledge, which will greatly increase the amount of artifact power you're able to get. The percentage will be an increase of 2,850%, which is massive for someone that has just started on a fresh 110. It will help players catch up quickly on their weapons and not feel bogged down by the weight of having to wait day after day after day after day for their artifact knowledge to catch up through the normal system. Now, the way that you will be able to do this is a few different ways. One, the great thing that Blizzard has done is they've allowed this to be tied into your order resources, which I mentioned earlier, which is great because you really have like an excess amount of them at the moment, and being able to spend your points onto this to help your artifact knowledge, I think, is a great use. So good job on Blizzard on that. Now, the second thing that they're going to do, which is really important, is for those of you guys that do already have characters with a massive amount of order resources on them, but they are not the character that you plan on spending artifact knowledge on. For example, this is your main character. Your weapon's already maxed out. You could be at artifact knowledge level 20. You're not worried about this tune. What you can do is there will be a vendor that you can go to in Dalaran where you can go in, trade in your Blood of Sargeras, which is an item that you can get all over the expansion, doing world quests, dropping from mobs, dropping from dungeons, dropping from raids. You can trade in your Blood of Sargeras and you can get an order resource cache. Now, the order resource cache is going to give you 200 order resources. And this is great because the catches with this cache is that it is bind on account. And you can take this and send this to any of your characters. So, if you are in a situation where you're sitting on a lot of Blood of Sargeras on one of your tunes, this is your time and your moment to be able to capitalize on this. Use your Blood of Sargeras on your main character, buy these order resource caches, keep the caches, and then send them through the mail to your alternate character that you're going to level up and try out a different spec on, and you can then turn the order resource caches into order resources and spend them on your alternate character to help you get the artifact knowledge levels immediately when patch 7.15 drops. I'm a huge fan of these changes Not just for PvP, but for every aspect of the game, because it's going to make players feel like that they can reach out from their spec and class that they chose at the beginning of the expansion and try out different specs, try out different classes. This is so good for World of Warcraft, and I think specifically for PvP, I know going into this expansion that a lot of players were very upset that a lot of abilities were removed from the game and being taken away from classes, even though if they were small spells to spells that were worked into the honor talent system and you had to make choices on which ones you can take. I think one of the great things about this patch is that it will allow players to play multiple specs and multiple classes at a consistent level between all of their players. Now, whether or not you're playing at 1800 as opposed to you're playing rank 1 gladiator games in 3v3, I feel that players will be able to play more classes and specs at a competitive level for wherever they're at, which is great for the game. Something similar to what you see in MOBAs like League of Legends, you can kind of pick up and play characters more easily because there's a limited amount of abilities. Now in World of Warcraft, there's obviously a lot more abilities than in League of Legends, but with how simplified the game has been and with the core basis of specs being centered around, a majority of somewhere between like 5 and 8 spells for any given spec, this is going to allow players to pick up and play multiple classes. I think that this is going to have a major positive impact in every area of World of Warcraft from PvE to PvP because it's going to allow players to feel like they have the flexibility and not tied down to the original class spec that they chose at the beginning of the expansion to go and explore other classes and specs. Now, for those of you guys that are looking for something to do over the holiday break and leading into patch 7.1.5, which once again is expected to drop at the beginning of December, level up some characters to 110. Get your characters that you want to play and explore when the patch drops. Get them 110, get them ready to go. You can already start working on your order resources and getting your early artifact knowledge as well too. Start knocking out some world quests, working on your honor talents, things to get you ready for PvP once 7.1.5 drops. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I think that the artifact knowledge changes are going to have a massive impact for everyone in the game, feeling like they can explore and try out different specs and classes, which I think was sorely needed for World of Warcraft Legion to continue being a huge success. Guys, I hope you guys enjoy your Thanksgiving. Have a great turkey day. I will catch you guys on the live stream in the afternoon or on the next video. Peace. Keep it easy, everyone. Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, guys? It's Buns. Welcome back to the Road to Gladiator. Tonight, for the very first time, I got to try out a composition that I've been very much looking forward to playing on my Elemental Shaman. These were some games that I played off